Hey guys, Mike and I are working on the fish room, and today we're installing a central airline system for all the sponge filters, because I am planning on getting a linear piston air pump, because I am absolutely done with using these diaphragm based pumps because they just fail so quickly. And so does my ability to hold a screw in place. But let's we'll come back when we got the whole thing up. Alright, this time Mike is putting up the PVC piping. In order to figure out where the studs were, I had to squeeze through this door here and find where the studs were. Hopefully we get into a stud. Sounds like it's grabbing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. That one will grab all right.
That one did not, though.
It might be too high above the stud, but it'll be okay for right now. So we're building this PVC tubing all around the room, because essentially how this works, the linear piston air pump sits right here and it blows air up into the system. It pressurizes the entire line that will go all around the room. And anywhere we need airline, we drill a little hole and a valve sits in it, and that valve lets an airline hose go directly down to the tank. And the idea is, because it's all around the room, the pressure will be completely even anywhere in the room. So as I expand the room, it'll be easy to simply just use one pump to do everything. So you might be wondering as to what exactly we've used to fasten these things. So we've decided to go with 3/4 inch PVC. What'd I do?
You gave me two.
Well, you know, two's a crowd, three's a crowd, two's a party, right? Something like that. Anywho, we went with 3/4 inch PVC tubing. That is relatively standard, and we're using these little fasteners to hold them into the studs behind this wood paneling on the wall. Now, some people will recommend 1-inch PVC, but I got a friend who runs 3/4 inch, and I figured, you know what, that seems fine to me. So basically it's just long runs of PVC, and any run that hasn't gotten all the way, we just use a simple union coupler, whatever you want to call it. And to cut it, in case we need to add a certain length, we just use this Pvc Cutter Tool. All this is actually relatively inexpensive. It costs us maybe like 25 bucks. 34? That, I guess if you already have the tool, it's more like 25 bucks in PVC to go all around this room. Whoops. So once we get it all fastened up, this is only just pressure fit. We're not using any cement. Now, there's an argument to be made for using cement or silicone on all the connecting points. And if you're running with really high pressures, I absolutely agree that it should have some sort of cement. But we're not running a super baller, you know, huge linear piston air pump. We're going to be using actually the smallest one that Gemco provides. But for our purposes, I think it should be completely sufficient. So we've got it all around now, and it's really not all that hard. It's basically just adult Legos. Right, Mike?
Pretty much.
So we've got a connection piece where a soft vinyl tubing will connect into, and right there, there used to be a 10-gallon fish tank there. We've since moved it over to that rack because, for one, I'd rather have the air pump sitting right there, and two, I'm planning on having a big tank span the entire length here, and I don't want to like get in the corner to see a tank. That doesn't make sense to me. I like my tanks to be displays. So that's why we've done things the way they are, and now I'm really just waiting on the pump and some airline and barbs. But we're going to fasten these a little better in a few more places just to make it safe and secure. But that's pretty much it.
And ladies and gentlemen, bow-ass hanger.
One screw. That's two. Yep. That's in there all right. So, now, I basically just got to wait for the linear air piston pump to come in. Now these things range around like 200, give or take, depending on where you're getting them from. Now, let's be clear, not all of these piston or linear air pumps are the same. There's a lot of really garbage ones on Amazon. Like, they look good, but they're loud, they break very quickly, and most of them are actually still a type of diaphragm pump. A linear air piston pump is a lot like the engine in a car. There's a piston that moves back and forth. When it moves back, it sucks in air. When it pushes forward, it pushes it through the tubular system that we've just installed. And this system will pressurize, and then, depending on where we put valves, air will come out. Linear air pistons, the ones that are actually worth getting, last a really long time. They are very reliable, and they are not all that loud. The cheap ones you find on Amazon, they're loud, fail quick, and they're usually not even a piston. They're just some weird type of diaphragm. And don't let these warranties on Amazon rein you in thinking, oh, if it doesn't work, it's got a warranty. You might want to look at the reviews, because a lot of these companies refuse to warranty their products, even though they claim like, oh, 1 or 2 year warranty. Buy it from a real manufacturer or a real distributor, and preferably within your own country. Yeah, you're going to spend a few $100s, but if you're running a bunch of tanks that use sponge filters, you really want to make sure you're doing it right. And honestly, these diaphragm pumps, even my Tetra Whisper AP300, it's just not good enough. And it's still a diaphragm pump. It will fail. And it has failed before. I've already replaced the diaphragms in less than a year. So, I'll obviously make another video once the pump has arrived and it's been installed. Until then, stay fishy.